Good morning. Okay, so we're on day 18 of Module 1. We're going to do why the leaves change colors again. We had a lot of stuff to listen to Miss Sabella talking about today, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get started.
Welcome back, friends. I'm Sue Sabella, your Great Minds teacher, and I'm so excited to continue to learn and grow with you today. Let's see what we need. Today you'll need handout 22A, the keyword investigation charts, handout 22B, the change cards, your Insync journal, your scissors, glue or tape, and your pencil. So pause here to gather what you need, and then just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so you're not going to need glue or tape or scissors or these two handouts because you don't have them. You do need your journal and you do need a pencil.
Scientists, historians, engineers, and mathematicians use very precise vocabulary to communicate to each other. We're going to learn a little bit more about that today, and we're going to explore some pretty powerful words in the science community. Are you ready, scientists? What does looking at key terms reveal to us? Key terms in informational text are important words in informational text. Today we'll be investigating key terms to see what they reveal to us about the big ideas in this scientific text. Today you're going to become an expert on how change occurs inside and outside leaves. Pause here to grab handout 22A. Just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so remember, we do not have this. We're just going to watch Miss Sabella do this. And we're going to try to do it together on the next one.
Follow along on your copy as I read the directions from handout 22A. Identify the details about chlorophyll from page 9 of Why Do Leaves Change Color, and add these details to the chart. Then answer the question at the bottom of the chart. Why is chlorophyll important for trees? Let's do one together. I'm going to read page 9, and when I get to a detail about chlorophyll, I'm going to stop to jot that down on my paper. Here we go. Just a few weeks ago, all the leaves were green. Back in the spring, the tiny new leaves uncurled from their buds. The green color in the leaves helps them to absorb or hold sunlight. Chlorophyll gives the leaves their green coloring. I heard a detail. Chlorophyll gives the leaves their green coloring. I'm going to jot that down on my paper. Chlorophyll is a natural coloring called a pigment. That's also a detail about chlorophyll. Now I'm also going to read the diagram. I'm going to look closely at the diagram. And as I look closely at the diagram, I am learning that chlorophyll is inside the leaf. That's something that I can also add as a detail. Why is chlorophyll important for trees? It helps leaves absorb sunlight. Now it's your turn. I'm going to read page 11, and your job is to gather details about leaves that can be found on page 11, and also to answer the question at the bottom, why are leaves important for trees? Because this is a video lesson, you can pause the video as often as you need to jot down details. So I'm going to read it all the way through. and you just pause when you need to so you can jot down the details. Here we go. Leaves are very important to the tree. They make a kind of sugar that is the tree's food. Leaves need sunlight, water, and air to make this food. The leaves work to feed the tree all summer long. The sugar is used by all parts of the tree, the leaves, branches, trunks, and roots. The food, or sugar, helps the tree to grow. Extra sugar is stored in the leaves. Remember, you can scroll back on the timeline to listen again and to pause as often as you need to, or you can grab your copy of the book and read this page on your own to gather your details and answer the question. Pause to work, and then just hit play to continue. Here's one more important key term that I'd like you to explore.
Okay, so let's go back and look at what are some things that you found in here that are about leaves that show why they are important. So when I was reading it, I think the most important thing that I saw was that they make a kind of sugar that is the tree's food. So the leaves are important for the trees because they make food, the sugar for food as for the tree. I also saw that they feed the tree all summer long. That is an important detail. And I saw that the food helps the tree to grow. So those are three important things that the leaves do for the tree. So that would be why they are important for the tree. So let's look at the next one.
Here's one more important key term that I'd like you to explore. Pigment. And you have a choice here. If you have a copy of the book at home or at school, you can use your copy of this book to read and gather details and answer the question. Or you can listen here as I read this page aloud. Remember, pause as often as you need to jot down the details to explain what pigment is. Also, pause to answer the question. When you're all done working, just hit play to continue.
Okay, so we're looking for pigment. Why is pigment important for trees? It says the pigments give the leaves color. So that would be one reason why pigment is important for trees. We can see that they're hidden by the dark green pigment chlorophyll. They give color to flowers. And some foods like bananas and carrots have a pigment. But for trees, it makes the leaves green. They're hidden by the dark chlorophyll, and the yellow and orange and red all come out when the green fades.
Here we go. Now, other colors can be seen in the leaves. Other pigments have been in the leaves all along, but they were hidden by the dark green of the chlorophyll. Once the green color fades, the yellow and orange pigments can be seen. These pigments give color to the leaves of birches, poplars, and elms. Some foods, like bananas and carrots, get their natural yellow and orange coloring from these same pigments. They also give color to some flowers. Maybe you can think of some. Now that you've examined some of the key terms very closely, now it's time to think about the process of how leaves change colors. Pause here to grab handout 22B, scissors, and glue. And then just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so remember we don't have this one, so we're just going to keep watching.
Let's read the directions together. Cut on the dotted lines, then place each card in correct order on the chart. Pause here to cut out the cards on the dotted lines. Once you have your cards cut up, I'd like you to put them in order on the chart. What happened first? What happened then? And what happened finally? There should be 2 cards in each column. Give it a try. Pause here to work it out and to think about it, and then just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so we have the words pigment, green spring leaf, multicolored autumn leaf, summer sunset, chlorophyll, and temperature. So let's think about the seasons, and in the year, which season comes first? Is it going to be summer, spring, autumn? Spring is going to come first. So let's say that this is our first green spring leaf. Which one of these words would relate to a green spring leaf? Temperature, chlorophyll, or pigments? Well, since it's a green spring leaf, I would think the word chlorophyll would go with it because chlorophyll is the green coloring. So we would put green spring leaf and chlorophyll together. What would come next after spring? It would be summer. Which one of the words left would relate to summer? Pigments or temperature? It would be temperature.
If you have a student that needs to have a makeup picture, please send them to the gym at this time. Also, if there's a staff member that needs to have a picture taken, please go to the gym at this time.
Sorry about that.
In my first column, I put the picture of the green spring leaf and also the word chlorophyll. If I was going to read my column or to share my column with another person, I would be sure to use the word first in my sentence. And it might sound something like this. First, there was a green spring leaf, and the leaf was green because of the chlorophyll. Pause here to practice reading your first column. You can read it to a learning partner, or you can just practice reading it out loud. And then hit play when you're ready to continue. How does the leaf change color? Keep looking at the pictures and the words and think about how they're related. What would happen next? What could you put into the middle column? What happened then? Pause here to think about the words in the pictures and then just hit play to continue.
Okay, so remember we said that in the second one we would put summer sunset with temperature.
Now, what would go in that last column? Finally, how does the leaf change at the end? Think about the words and the pictures. And also practice reading your chart with a learning partner or reading your chart out loud so you can hear it yourself. Remember to use the sequencing words first, then, and finally to help you tell the story of how a leaf changes color. Pause here to work and then hit play to continue.
Okay, so if we have a green spring leaf and chlorophyll, then summer sunset, and temperature. The last two that we had were the multicolored autumn leaf and what do you think the word was? Pigments. Good. So what you should do is with your learning partner, tell how the leaf changes colors. We could say first in the spring, the leaf is green because it's full of chlorophyll. Then in the summer, the temperatures rise. And finally, in the autumn, the pigments come out and make multicolored leaves.
Now that you've had a chance to think about the key terms and how leaves change colors, let's take some of your powerful thinking and put it into writing. How do conclusions work? You'll be using your expert knowledge about how change happens inside a leaf while you experiment with conclusions. Remember that every informative paragraph must have a topic statement, evidence that supports that topic statement, and most recently we learned about conclusions and that the conclusion reinforces what the paragraph is about. It may even restate or sound very similar to the topic statement, and the conclusion comes near the end of the paragraph. I'm going to need your help. I'm going to write an informative paragraph about how leaves change colors in the fall. But I'm going to need your help with the conclusion. So let's get started. Read my paragraph as I start to build it. I use the informative writing anchor chart to make sure that I have everything that I need. And so far, I have a topic statement and I have the evidence, but I am missing a conclusion. And that's where you come in. I'd like you to take out your journal and write down a conclusion for this paragraph. What can you say that will be similar to the topic statement and remind the reader what this paragraph is about? If you'd like a challenge, you can even write more than one conclusion and then circle the one that you like best.
Okay, so this is going to be your work for today's class, okay? I'm going to put a picture of this paragraph up on the Google Classroom. You are going to write a conclusion for this paragraph. It says, leaves change colors in the fall. First, the leaves are green from the chlorophyll inside the leaf. Then, the temperature changes because the days are shorter. Finally, the other pigments appear. So you are going to write a conclusion to that paragraph. And like she said, if you want a challenge, you can write 2 and circle the one you like the best.
Pause here to work and then just hit play to wrap up our video lesson. As we read, it's important to spend time investigating key terms so we can understand them. It's also important to use key terms as a writer and as a speaker. Which key term could you share with someone else today to help expand their vocabulary? Give it a try, and I will see you again soon.
All right, so that is end of today's lesson. So what you're going to do for class today is you are going to, in your journal, you're going to write a conclusion for Miss Sabella's paragraph. You're going to do it on page 32. Okay, page 32. Write a conclusion for Miss Sabella's paragraph. All right, so we post it up on the Google Classroom, and that's all we've got for today. So I'll see you this afternoon. Bye, guys.